Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Uy, happy Labor Day sa lahat ng mga
May 1.
laborers natin, mga hardworking people.
Of
Today
course.
is your day. Oo.
Saludo po sa ating
saludo.
mga
Tayo lang.
uring manggagawa.
Pero wala tayong holiday.
Okay lang yun.
Always on the go.
Oo.
And ang kadamay natin this morning, of course, is Second Mile Coffee.
Tada!
Their very popular cream puff.
Hindi nakakasawa.
Oo, at saka maganda dyan, hindi puro bread, madaming cream.
Oo, okay.
Topped with chocolate and edible gold.
True that.
Oh, wala kang masabi kasi, no? Wala kang
Sabi ko nga
to.
true that eh.
True that.
Oh.
Kung sinabi ko may sardinas dyan, true that.
Oh.
Okay,
Sige.
all that because we're serving you news in a countdown.
No, before that, all that, before your second cup of coffee, this is Brunch.
Starting our countdown with some sizzling volleyball action. The Choco Mucho Flying Titans finally broke their losing streak against Creamline Cool Smashers in the PVL All-Filipino Conference semis yesterday. After 2 disastrous sets, Choco Mucho pulled off a reverse sweep and nabbed the win against Creamline. This victory tastes sweeter because this is their first victory against their sister team since 2019. CC Rondina led her team to victory with 23 points built on 21 attacks, a block, and an ace. Meanwhile, the Philippines men volleyball team will receive assistance from health company MWell Philippines. They will serve as our team's main supporter for the FIVB Volleyball Men's World Championship.
Congratulations, and we're very excited. And
Yeah.
now we continue our countdown for today. For our 9th spot, it's the latest heat index forecast. More than 30 areas are expected to experience dangerous levels of heat today. The highest heat index is expected to reach 48 degrees Celsius in Pili, Camarines Sur, followed by 47 degrees Celsius in Dagupan City, Pangasinan, and 46 degrees Celsius in Apari, Cagayan. Parts of Ilocos Norte, Cagayan, Palawan, Catanduanes, and Masbate are forecast to experience 45 degrees Celsius. While Pag-asa predicts a 44 degrees Celsius heat index in parts of Isabela, Aurora, Occidental Mindoro, Capiz, and Iloilo. Over here in Metro Manila, Pasay and Quezon City might log a heat index ranging from 42 to 43 degrees Celsius. At least 18 other areas across the country are expected to register the same heat index today. Pag-asa warns that dangerous levels of heat index may trigger heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and worst, heat stroke. So stay hydrated, mga kapatid.
Yes, tsaka hindi biro kasi kala mo okay ka kahit indoors. Di ba? Yesterday, ikaw, headache.
Yeah.
Nararamdaman ng body. Ako, the other week, yung anak natin si Mio, the other day, di ba, nang hina, ayaw kumain, it's the heat.
Actually nga, sinabi nga ng DOH, ang mga kabataan daw, yung children are most vulnerable ngayon sa nangyayari sa atin, yung heat-related illnesses din. Dahil nga itong mga bata ay exposed sa labas, tapos very, energetic sila. Sometimes yung katawan daw nila hindi nila nararamdaman yung...
Pero nagbe-breakdown na.
Oo, yung nangyayari.
Kasi you have to remember,
sa kanila.
hindi na normal sa isang katawan pag 39 degrees na yan. That's approaching high fever already. And pag nag-high fever ka, nagbo-bone chills ka, your heart starts to pump faster because naghahabol siya ng blood flow sa iba-ibang parts ng katawan. You're sweating profusely, tapos you're nagsisweat ka, you're losing salt sa body.
Right.
Diba? So, yung body mo nagbe-breakdown. So, talagang you have to stay hydrated no matter what.
But still, ang sabi nga wala pa rin namang declaration ng heat wave. 'Di ba? Kahit na sunod-sunod itong mga pagtaas.
Oo, because if you have to take a look, the heat wave is based on average temperature, not heat index.
Yes.
So, ano yung average temperature? 5 degrees above normal for 5 days straight. So, kung Metro
Pero wala
Manila,
pa daw ganun na
oo,
natatala.
so kung Metro Manila is 35 on the average on summer, dapat naka 40 degrees siya 5 days straight.
Kaya,
Alright,
Ingat.
let's move on to the next. Ito hindi. Ito, marami pa rin sa atin ang nalilito sa pagkakaiba ng heat index at actual temperature.
Oo, tama ka dyan. Pero mas marami siguro ang napapaisip kung paano nga ba yan sinusukat. Actually, that's true. Para bigyan po ng mukha ng balita, Mobile Journal Francis Orsio.
Marami sa kapatid natin ang nagsasabing ngayon lang sila nakaramdam ng ganitong klaseng init. At valid naman ang punto nila dahil makalipas ang isang siglo, nalampasan na ang pinakamataas na naitalang temperatura dito sa Metro Manila. Record high ang naitalang temperatura sa Metro Manila noong April 27, 2024. Pumalo yan sa 38.8 degrees Celsius at nalampasan ang all-time hottest temperature na 38.6 degrees Celsius noon pang 1915. Pero teka, di ba umaabot ng higit 42 degrees Celsius ang heat index ngayon? Paano naging record high ang temperature noong Sabado? Nakakalito no? May pagkakaiba kasi ang heat index at yung aktual na temperatura. Para mabigyang linaw, pumunta tayo dito sa Pag-asa para ipaliwanag sa atin ang pagkakaiba at kung paano sinusukat ang temperatura ngayon.
Yung temperature po, yan yung halimbawa, nasa room tayo, tinignan natin o sinet natin aircon na ganitong temperature, yun yung ambient air temperature. Pero pag pinag-usapan natin heat index, composed siya ng two main variables. Yung temperature ay part lang, pangalawa yung relative humidity.
Sa madaling salita, kapag sinabing temperature, ang sinusukat dyan ay lamig o init ng hangin. Habang yung heat index, yan naman yung damang init sa katawan dahil sa taas ng moisture o alinsangan na meron sa hangin. Sinamahan ako ni Sir Julius ng Pag-asa sa Weather Observatory nila sa Quezon City upang ipakita sa akin ang ginagamit nila para sukatin ang temperatura.
Ito po yung shelter na pinaglalagyan po ng ating mga instrument. Bali, ito po yung pinaka-primary instrument na ginagamit po namin or yung tinatawag po namin na psychrometer, digital psychrometer. Isa po yung dry bulb or yung air temperature na tinatawag, and then yung pong wet bulb.
Dry bulb ang weather instrument na ginagamit para sukatin ang aktual na temperature. Wet bulb naman para matukoy ang amount ng moisture content sa hangin. Matapos kumalap ng datos gamit ang mga ito, iko-compute ang final result sa pag-aanalisa ng heat index.
Pero kapag mataas yung relative humidity o yung moisture content, yung pawis natin hindi agad mag-evaporate. Ang mangyayari, mag-accumulate, papawisan tayo ng sobra, mahihirapan yung katawan natin. At yun yung role ng heat index. To have a certain measurement or ma-identify natin yung magnitude kung ano yung maaaring i-effort ng katawan natin.
Una nang sinabi ng Pag-asa na hanggang kalagitnaan pa ng Mayo magtatagal ang init. Paliwanag ng ahensya, karaniwan kasing nagtatapos ang dry season tuwing katapusan ng Mayo. Kaya posibleng maibsan ang init bago ang hudyat ng pagsisimula ng tag-ulan o habagat season. Nakakalito man, sabi ng Pag-asa, mahalaga ang paglalabas nila ng mga datos na may kaugnayan sa epekto ng tag-init. Yan ay para mabigyang babala ang publiko at maiwasan ang mga sakit na maaring makuha mula sa nakakapasong init. Mobile journalist Francis Orsio po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Pakinggan nila yan possibly hindi pa nagpipeak ang init. Baka daw umabot ng 50.
Ang heat index,
Ang heat index. Well, that's hindi ako
Hindi mo ma-explain, no? So, sobrang init naman
50.
talaga eh. So, alam mo, lalabas ka dyan, pasong-paso na talaga
You don't
yung
need a
skin
pan
mo eh.
pag 50 degrees.
Oo.
Crack an egg sa floor. Luto yan. Hindi mo kailangan ng pan.
Well, ito nga, no, meron din tayong nalaman din na balita. A grass fire was reported in two hills of the Chocolate Hills in Bohol last night. Firefighters failed to extinguish the fire because their hose can't reach the burning area. Fortunately, the grass fire naturally stopped at around 10:35 in the evening. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the grass fire.
Ano ba ito nangyari sa Chocolate Hills, no?
Ano yan eh, parang kagabi nga, di ba, 7 o'clock, talagang ang daming mga netizens din ang mga nag-post tungkol dyan kasi of course, they're worried, di ba, baka kumalat din yung apoy. Pero fortunately nga, but around 10 something in the evening, nag-stop na yung fire. Pero, yun nga, ang problem, yung mga firefighters dahil gabi, hirap silang mag-enter dun sa area, pumunta dun sa area, madilim. Tapos, hindi pa maabot nung hose yung kanilang, yung apoy. Kaya hirap sila maapula.
Because
so, itong two hills na to are facing view deck ng Chocolate Hills.
No, because if you look at yung capability ng Bureau of Fire natin, it's still not designed yet masyado to reach yung mga places na hindi naman kasi usually may fire. But ngayon, we have to readjust that and take a look at what we need because of the heat index na napakataas. nagda-dry out yung mga leaves tsaka yung mga grass, 'di ba? So konting ano daw lang, konting spark lang din mag-ignite ang isang area.
Oo.
Take a look what happens to Baguio, 'di ba? Or yung model what happens sa Australia, sa US, yung mga wildfire na
Mga
yan.
wildfires. So, yun yung kinukonsider nila na maaaring nagmula ng apoy. Pero they're still investigating. No? We need the official statement regarding that. Pero they are considering that. Yung sinasabi mo nga na baka nga, yung nagsimula ang apoy doon sa...
Kasi sa US, they have the Forest Ranger Fire Group na helicopter base. So dapat we should invest more in that now. Kasi sa Baguio, we were only using one helicopter to try to kill the fire.
Pero this one happened 7 in the evening. Pero ang di lang natin alam kung matagal ba siyang umaapoy nung hapon pa, hindi natin alam.
Hindi mo ikikinabitel.
Ikinabitel,
Anyway, let's move on. Now here is a concerning story at the 8th spot. The Department of Information and Communications Technology reported that 388 government agencies are vulnerable to cyber attacks. And only 55 of them took action about this. DICT Undersecretary Jeffrey Ian D. said these are the only agencies who responded to them when they were notified about their weak cyber system. They pushed these agencies to procure equipment that will protect themselves from cyber attacks. He also suggested for the Budget Department to include agencies' cyber responses as part of their good governance scorecard.
Now to tell us more about this, we have DICT Undersecretary Alexander Ramos.
Good morning, Yusek.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, Yusek, let's get right to it now. Did we get an explanation already from the vulnerable 533 government agencies na specify on why they're not improving their cybersecurity?
Okay, let's look at it in a different perspective. No? DICT, they have this system that allows them to look into the potential threats to the different government agencies. They have this system in place already. Now, they get a chance to monitor which government sites are getting hit or are getting some negative responses from their system. And they inform these government agencies, ganito yun, meron kami nakita, meron kayong deficiency on something like this. Not all are major deficiencies. Some are minor or some are compliances. So we have to look at it in that manner. Hindi natin titingnan that talagang grabe na agad yung situation.
Right.
Okay? So these are government agencies that were found in the sabihin na natin sa ating radar na merong deficiency sila in protecting their network. So, DICT sent out notices through the NCERT natin, no? Meron tayong emergency response unit sa DICT, and these notices will tell them ano yung observations.
Right.
And they have to respond to this observation para matanggal sila dun sa list na merong negative feedback.
Yeah.
However, not all agencies are either capable, not all agencies understand, or not all agencies have the necessary budget.
Right.
Hindi nila alam how to utilize it. In fact, some of these agencies are not even compliant because we have the information security plan na dapat isasubmit nila annually before they buy or before they spend their ICT budget. Diba? So, marami pang agencies hindi nakakapag-comply.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes. Yusek, may I ask po kung sino po itong mga agencies na ito, government agencies natin, na nakita niyo pong vulnerable and who are the ones that responded?
I think the list is with NCERT, no? It's not with us. We are CICC. We are in the investigative part of the
Right.
ICT. So, itong list na to, they should have that list. Although I was able to glimpse at it kasi hindi yan for publication eh.
Yes.
Kasi people will misinterpret what this list is all about, and we don't want that to get out of hand. This is just a summary of what is potential na dapat kino-comply.
Oo.
Hindi siya totally dangerous ang situation nila. Hindi ganon.
Pwede po
So,
ba?
that list is with Yusek Jeff actually.
Okay.
Sige po. Pero pwede niyo po i-explain sa amin paano po ba itong cyber systems na ito na vulnerable sila sa cyber attack?
Parang ganito yan. Pag meron tayong VAPT, di ba, sa mga commercial banks, sa mga private institutions, to see yung mga, ang unang nakikita, first level of being vulnerable is non-compliance. Number 2, you're using pirated software or unlicensed software. Okay? Walang patches ito, walang security patches ito, so you become vulnerable. Okay? Number 3, yung talagang widespread nakikita namin, either nagtitipid or certain officers within an agency, meron silang tinatawag nating sariling sikap na project. Not knowing that there are certain standards and certain rules on how to do it. Creating a website is not just creating a website. It has to be a secure website.
Yes.
And many of those do not comply with the standards. In fact, pinapagawa lang nila dyan sa kaibigan o sa isang relative na marunong mag-computer, marunong gumawa ng website, not knowing that what they're doing exposes them to potential vulnerability, lalo na pag nililink nila sa kanilang system. Or, meron silang mga database na accessible through their website. Yun ang sinasabi ko, hindi sila nagko-comply. No? They have to comply with that.
That's right.
Those are basic things.
I'd like to touch up on that, what you said. No? Sometimes an agency may magkakaroon sila ng bagong programa, tapos gagawa bigla ng website. Nagkaroon po ng, I think, I don't remember what agency it was. They said na they developed a website for a new program, pero wala sa budget daw yung antivirus nila. Pero they put the website up and running pa rin despite of not having a antivirus. So, napasukan daw sila at that time. Do you think, Yusek, there should be a protocol na kung wala sa budget or magkaroon ng provisional budget na in case na mag-lapse ang isang antivirus sa isang agency or may bagong proyekto na kailangan ng website, na ready po, mayroon tayong budget to renew the licenses of this antivirus?
I believe the DBM has been informed of these issues already, no? Kasi yung budget natin is pang-annual budget lang. Hindi siya pang long-term budget.
Okay.
And besides, it's not automatic. Now, if you have a change of administration or a change of personnel, no overlook ito. The reason is mababa ang cybersecurity awareness ng unit na yan within the agency or within the government office. So we are increasing our cybersecurity awareness in a campaign, a massive campaign within the national government. We have to make them realize na hindi na biro ito na mawalan kayo isang ballpen, okay lang, o mawalan kayo isang papel, okay lang. Hindi ho ganon. Sa data system natin, information security, malaki yung kawalan yan. So we are increasing this. Yun ang unang-una, increasing cybersecurity awareness. Number 2, as far as budget is concerned, that's why they are mandated to submit an ISSP para makita namin ni DICT kung tama ba yung pinapurchase nyo, meron ba kayong kulang na pinapurchase na dapat na meron kayo. Now, if you will not submit that, then DICT cannot see that, no? So, nangyari na lang is that na-attack na, naging biktima na yung agency. So, gagawa naman ng remedyo ang DICT. So, gagawa natin ng paraan to recover what they have lost or what has been damaged. Yun ang nakakalimutan natin eh. It is not the ICT's role to ensure na ayos kayo, yung agency, kasi devolve ang funds eh. So, you are given your funds, use it wisely.
Right.
And you have to be smart enough.
I was wondering, Yusek, no, how often po ginagawa ng DICT itong Project Sonar? If I'm not mistaken, yung pag-scan po ng vulnerability sa iba't ibang agencies natin. And baka po alam niyo po kung sino po yung weakest na weakest po na government agency natin na vulnerable nga po sa mga cyber attacks?
Okay, as far as I'm concerned, Project Sonar started second half of last year, no? Kasi nga consistent na yung mga attacks to government sites and government facilities. Okay? So nag-initiate yan sila yung grupo nila USECD
Yes.
to ensure that they will have the necessary tools to monitor potential attacks. Okay? Kung sino itong agencies na lagi natin nababasa, edi malamang ito yung agencies na it's either napakalaki nila or kulang na kulang ang kanilang skill sets within their agency. So they have to further improve. We're not saying they're not complying. Kasi, okay, nag-comply ka nga, pero tama ba yung mga ginagawa ng mga tao mo afterwards? Hindi yung, porke napintahan mo na, okay na, next year na uli. Hindi ho, ganun lang. Ang cybersecurity is constant. Every second, every minute counts. And you have to have qualified people to man these systems. Yun ang isa sa mga ini-espouse sa amin ng DICT na let's have a new level. Kung meron tayong privacy officer in all companies, dapat meron din tayong cybersecurity officers na talagang yun lang ang ginagawa at hindi nahati ang attention.
But how do we make, paano po ba? Kasi nakita ko nga po, di ba, you mentioned po 388 government agencies po yung nakita po natin na vulnerable sa cyber attacks and only 55 responded, ano? I was wondering paano po ba natin sila mas kumbaga, mas itong mga agencies na ito magpagtuunan ng pansin ng cybersecurity when in fact ito nga po 55 lang po out of 388 ang nag-respond sa inyo regarding po dun sa inyong mga observations?
We have to be very diplomatic about this. No? Alam natin na may mga data silos pa tayo na attitude towards the different government agencies. Hindi pa natin na perfect yung unification of our data systems. So kanya-kanya I'm protective of what I have right now. Ganun yung nagiging attitude eh.
Yes.
So they don't allow other people to get into it. So kung may problema, sila ang accountable, hindi kung sino-sino. Now, making them comply, DICT, through the Office of the President, was able to ask for the issuance of an executive order mandating all government agencies to cooperate, to report, to collaborate, no, through our insert. Yun yung order ng through the executive secretary. And it will take a while. Kumbaga sa meron tayong period of adjustment kasi it was only last month na issue. Hopefully they will be able to comply. They are still, tandaan nyo, may problem tayo. Qualified people. Okay? Kulang tayo sa qualified people in those agencies that needs to be trained. Kung kulang sila, tumutulong kami para mag-train. Pero hindi ho instant yan. It takes a while for them to learn, takes a while for them to embrace that cybersecurity is very delicate matter and needs real full-time people to work on it.
Okay, lastly, Yusek, I'd like to ask, you said we need more qualified people, we need people who know this stuff. Now, do you think we have enough programs or laws in place that could address these needs, or do we need to talk to lawmakers more para it's time to beef up our cybersecurity sa ating bansa?
Definitely, we need more. In fact, our laws should be like technology also. Especially if it is technology related. Why? Mabilis mag-evolve eh. Walang flexibility ang batas eh. When we create our laws, it's fixed. Walang flexibility. But technology doesn't work that way. Technology works very fast. In fact, ang development ng mga chips natin, after 3 months, may bago, may mas mabilis, may mas malakas. We don't even have a law regulating AI and emerging technologies, emerging threats. Wala po tayong ganong klaseng batas that will deal with the future. So, we are asking Congress, okay, let's be a bit more flexible, more future-ready tayo yung ating mga batas that we need to pass ASAP. Hindi ho pwedeng, kasi matagal ang process, no? There are certain procedures na sinusunod ng and hopefully makapag-change na rin or makapag-adapt tayo to the
That's right.
forever evolving na mga challenges.
That's right.
And I think we have our lawmakers studying the model of Estonia, how they are coping, as well as other countries who are really embracing technology.
Alright, nako sige. Siguro po, hopefully we can still invite you again para
So much
pag-usapan
to talk
naman.
about.
Oo,
So
pag-usapan
much to-
naman yung AI and deepfake na po na nauuso ngayon. But for the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, DICT Undersecretary Alexander Ramos.
Anytime po.
Oo. But coming up, Belcan's Pharma, the company accused of being involved in a multi-level marketing scheme, responds to allegations.
Ano kaya yung sagot? And China yet again harassed Filipino crew members in the West Philippine Sea. Oh, what did they do to us this time?
We are just getting started.
So sila alis para makita nila anong ginawa sa atin.
More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning! Ginulat ba kita? You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Happy, ano ba ngayon? Wednesday, May 1. Alis ka na?
Hindi, sabi mo sa akin, taasan ko ng konti.
Oo.
Ayan, gusto mo ganyan na.
Umupo ka na. Bilisan mo.
Hoy, good morning sa lahat ng mga viewers natin na walang work today at nanonood ng Brunch.
Hello.
We are joined by Second Mile Coffee na nagbigay po sa atin ng
Cream puff.
and wonderful black brewed coffee
Yun.
from Brazil.
Sige.
Oo.
Alamin na natin, ano ba ang ating next topic for today? Going straight to our seventh spot, the period for consolidation under the PUV modernization program ended yesterday. GP operators and members of cooperatives flocked to the office of LTFRB for their last-minute applications. The LTFRB says more than 80% of jeepneys and UV Express units are expected to have joined the consolidation after the deadline. Transport Group Piston earlier asked the Supreme Court to suspend the modernization program, but it was not granted.
Yung attitude ng mga kababayan natin ng wait and see. Yung mga ayaw mag-consolidate ng una dahil tutol sa programa, naghangad po sila na baka pwedeng extend pa ng Pangulo or pwedeng mag-issue ang Supreme Court ng temporary restraining order. As of this time, wala hong binabanggit ang Pangulo, wala pong ini-issue ang Supreme Court.
Okay.
Kaya
So,
maganda yung... Ay, sorry, go ahead.
no, nakita ko nga kahapon na talagang ang dami ng mga jeepney operators and
Yes.
jeepney drivers na talagang nag-antay until 8 p.m. deadline
Yes,
ng
oo,
LTFRB.
Ang haba daw ng pila, pati still,
Oo,
ano
pero
eh.
5 o'clock parang natapos na, kinat na nila yung
Yeah.
pila. Yung inuubos na lang nila until 8 p.m. yung mga tao na doon yesterday. And there were jeepney operators and jeepney drivers na nagpa-interview,
Yeah.
diba? At nagsabi nga na kahit
Eh,
daw labag sa kalooban nila na
wala.
sumali sa consolidation,
Livelihood nila yan.
wala daw silang magagawa because gusto pa rin nilang pumasada.
Yung mga kababayan natin that are watching, di ba? For context kasi, when you consolidate, you will lose your franchise. Because you're consolidating into a corporation or a group, therefore you don't own anymore yung jeep mo. It's owned by the cooperative already because you are under one franchise which holds the route. Ngayon, ang sinasabi ni Elmer Francisco, which is a very good point, bakit gagawin mandatory ang consolidation? Why not make it optional for those who cannot afford to buy modern jeepney units, mag-consolidate? Ngayon, kung ang operator, kaya naman niya bumili, or a jeepney driver who has enough money, then, hayaan mo siyang operate on its own without without actually consolidating. Ang point lang naman ng government is, finally, they want to join the ranks of Italy and the US and other countries. Na the routes are already properly designated to specific drivers.
Right.
Makikita mo, di ba, sa Italy, bus number 8 goes to this place, bus number 9 goes to this place. And you will see the same bus driver for the same routes.
Exactly, but yun nga ang pino-point out ng mga nagwelga, yung mga against this PUV modernization. Sabi nila okay lang naman sila mag-update o mag-upgrade ng kanilang mga dinadrive, 'di ba, yung mga pampasada nila ng mga sasakyan. Ang problema daw nila is ngayon daw pinipilit nagkakaroon ng deadline sa consolidation, wala pa daw silang maipresenta na 100% route rationalization plan. Yun ang nga sinasabi ng mga jeepney drivers and other operators. And may mga reports din tayong nakuha at nabasa na ilang mga jeepney operators na sumali na nga nakapag-consolidate na mga last year pa at sinasabi na until na wala daw silang makuhang kumbaga kita. So, nakalabas na lahat ng kanilang mga 3 or 4, 5 jeepneys na modern jeepneys pero wala pa din daw silang nakukuhang kita. So that we have to check.
Yung rinirik, okay. And let's move on to the next kasi madami-dami tayo.
Kala ko may sasabihin ka pa eh.
May B.
Bakit? Ha?
May B.
Ano ko ba, cake topper ako ngayon?
Hindi, kala ko may B eh. Alright, let's
Okay.
move on to the next. On our sixth spot, President Bongbong Marcos ordered the Energy Department to prioritize the development of electric vehicles in the country. Now, the DOE was told to have a consolidation on financing schemes to expedite the purchase of e-vehicle fleets in the country. They are also pushing for incentives for e-vehicle owners like registration priority, tax breaks, and number coding exemption. However, we only have 73 charging stations for e-vehicles in the whole country. DOE assured the public that we have enough energy supply for more charging stations despite the current energy crisis.
It's around 2,000 megawatts coming in for Luzon this year. It's just that it's a bit delayed. So, wala nga siyang 1% na by 2040, especially if we have a lot of the hybrid electric vehicles. So, we have this computed because this comprehensive roadmap on the electric vehicle industry is aligned with the Philippine Energy Plan that looks into the demand and supply.
Yun nga ang problema Dapat dagdagan nila yung mga charging stations kung nag-i-encourage sila ng mga tao na mas tumangkilik ng mga
Yes,
e-vehicles.
because ang magiging issue nito, yung energy, how much energy a car can hold is measured in kilometers and miles.
Yes.
Ang problema, our traffic is different from the way these batteries were designed.
Exactly.
So kunyari, nakalagay 300 kilometers ang power source ng car mo. If you're stuck in traffic, you're consuming pa rin. If you're talking about full electric vehicles,
Yes.
ang mga
Hindi yung hybrid.
Ang hybrid kasi nagsiswitch between gas and battery. But ang sinasabi nila, what if pupunta ka ng North Province, biglang naipit ka ng traffic ng NLEX. nabawasan yung 300 kilometers mo, di ba? Saan ka mag-charge?
Hindi, tsaka you have to remember, meron tayong current energy crisis
Yes.
also, di ba? Pero okay naman yan because it's going to be good for our environment as well. Tapos yung ibang mga medyo gusto talaga sa e-vehicles, gustong-gusto
Uy, but
nila
wait,
exempted
ha?
daw sa coding.
Ito ang study na dapat tignan nila. Oo, di ba, you're not going to be use petrol-powered cars, but you're going to charge into stations. Ang Philippines is predominantly coal-powered.
Ganun din.
So if you're consuming, if more of us have electric cars, you're consuming more power, which in turn, the power comes from coal, then we have more carbon emission.
Alam mo, for the first time, ma-agree ako sa'yo.
Wow.
May tama ka, may point ka. Kaya,
Kasi hindi mo lang makontra yung punto ko dahil napakaganda ng argument ko.
kaya mag-move on na tayo sa next natin. Uy, ang gulo mo sa next news.
Okay. Okay.
Switching gears now for our fifth spot, Belcan's Pharma denies their supposed involvement in a multi-level marketing scheme. Recall that the company was accused of handing out commissions to doctors in exchange for them pushing the company's medications. Some senators even alleged that Belcan's Pharma have mini pharmacies and clinics for patients to directly purchase from them. In a Senate hearing, the CEO of the company explains that what they provide to doctors are simply incentives or discounts.
We are giving incentives and, shall I say, support to our doctors who, for them to include us as a brand for their generic prescriptions.
All right. What kind of incentives?
We
Doctor?
give them continuing medical educations locally and abroad, and sometimes we also provide them with clinic equipments.
Now let's talk about this ongoing issue involving a pharmaceutical company.
We are now joined by Dr. Hector Santos, Vice President of the Philippine Medical Association. Magandang umaga po sa inyo. Doc, can you hear us? Dr. Hector, can you hear us? Sige, paayos muna natin yung line. Diba? Kasi marami-rami tayong mga questions regarding this issue. But for the meantime, let's talk about it. Tayong dalawa muna. Habang wala pa si Dr. Hector Santos ng Philippine Medical Association. Kasi medyo naging mainit talaga yung Senate hearing yesterday regarding this. And yun nga, admitted nung CEO ng Belcan's na nagbibigay sila ng incentives.
Yes.
Diba? So the question is this ethical or not? At ang sinasabi nila, yes, merong mga foreign trips abroad na sponsored nila, pero yun daw ay for further studies, hindi daw for luxury. And they also denied giving out luxury cars and watches, no? Yung
Yun na nga,
mga
they have-
luxury watches sa mga doktor.
Sabi ng ibang lawmakers lang, you have to draw the line between commissions and incentives. Diba? Kasi commissions can be incentives because you are, if you're a doctor, you are parang, you're rewarded for having a better sales sa medicine. So therefore, ikaw, baka mapilitan kang or unknowingly, you put in sa reseta yung hindi generic brand nito but a specific brand. But hindi naman nila lahat. It's just that we have to draw the line already para hindi na magulo itong issue kasi medyong muddled itong issue eh.
Yes, at saka yun nga, di ba, kailangan din linawin na
Yes,
may
oh.
mga ibang doktor na meron silang mga, kumbaga, sarili nilang stocks ng medicine
Na binibigyan
na
na
binibili ng pasyente sa kanila. Now, is that legal? Is that ethical? Di ba? So, yan ang aalamin din natin later on.
Pero
Ano
ang pwede
pa?
daw kasi is you can put the generic name and then in parenthesis, you can put the brand name na preferred ng doctor. Because supposedly, ang generic and the very expensive branded should be of the same quality daw.
Yan.
Anyway, let's
Sige.
ito na ata.
Tingnan natin, nandito na ba si Dr. Hector Santos? Doc, good morning.
Good morning po.
There you go.
Yun. Doc, thank you for
Okay.
joining us, Doc.
Thank you for joining us. Pero unang-unang katanungan po, hindi raw po commissions ang binigay sa doctors, no? Kundi incentives. Yan po yung sinabi ng CEO ng Belcan's sa Belcan's Pharmaceutical Company kahapon during the hearing o Senate hearing. And first and foremost, is this allowed po?
Ang commissions for... Sorry, medyo magal ba?
Go ahead, sir.
The commissions
Doc.
are definitely not allowed. No?
Okay.
Incentives in a point. No, well, you cannot deny that there's still merong relationship, neither relationship between the pharma companies and the doctors. And more often, you will note that most pharma companies would be coverage ang tawag doon. They will be bringing their materials, explaining to the doctors what are the advantages of their medicine. So that's a usual practice of more pharma companies.
Yeah.
These are products and these are our advantage to others. No, those are marketing possibilities.
Yeah.
Now, when the Dr. Go of Belkes was asked whether he was getting investors, he was asked to answer only yes or no. So, mahirap naman i-categorize with just a simple no or a yes.
Yes.
No? Because I think he said no, and then he mentioned that these are not commissions, but they're incentives. It is true that some pharmaceutical companies would hold or sponsor scientific meetings to present their product. But then doctors to attend these conferences, we call those the roundtable discussions or for continuing medical education, they will not beholden the doctors to preferentially prescribe their medication. The PMA still upholds the ethical practice na first, do no harm, no?
Yeah.
The Hippocratic law yan. So, kung anong nababagay po at nasa saad sa what we call the medical practice guideline or protocol, yun ho ang piniprescribe ng doktor.
Yes.
If there are doctors who would give unethically medications that are needed by the patient just to gain profit from them, yun ho ang unethical.
Okay.
At this point, prior to this congressional hearing yesterday, we were not sure who were the doctors involved in what they call that investment scheme.
Multi-level.
No? Now that we have the name and the ethics committee of the Philippine Medical Association has now issued an invitation for these doctors to attend an ethical practice with investigation by the PMA Committee on Ethics. So that is the process to kasi. Unless there is no complaint from any member, we do not act on an ethical issue unless there is a complaint.
Okay.
Then motu proprio, if it is already out there in the public, then we have to call them or let them to explain.
Yes, Doc, but is it ethical ba for doctors to invest in or enter into a pharmaceutical business?
It is as a free enterprise. Doctors may enter into companies, no? Siyempre, may mga business acumen din yung mga doctors. But then to preferentially prescribe one patient numerous medicines, hindi mo ethical kung hindi naman nila kailangan.
Okay. Okay.
Now, doctors would prefer medicines above any other kung it is effective. Number two, if it's more affordable to their patients. And number three, more importantly, recently, availability.
Yes.
Meron ho kasi mga ibang medicines na itong kailangan, hindi naman available dun sa market. So that's why the doctors form their own pharmaceutical company to purchase them and to make them available.
Okay.
Pero, Doc, meron
Kaya
po...
nga lang, kasi nga po ang doctor, hindi pwede mag-dispense sa clinic.
Yes.
Right.
That's part of the... hindi sila maaaring mag-dispense.
Okay.
Oo. And we abide by that. Any doctor who does that at may complain, they could be reprimanded, first part, or suspended, or even they lose their license, as we will now write PRC to tell them
Oo.
and recommend suspension of their license.
O yun. So very
We've
clear
done that
tayo on
before.
that, Doc. Hindi talaga
Opo.
pwede mag-dispense sa mga doktor ng mga gamot mula sa kanilang clinic. Pero may violation po ba kung ang isang doktor ay kumbaga tumanggi na magbigay sa pasyente ng iba pang options na gamot?
Hindi ho nararapat na tumanggi magbigay. Tama po kayo binanggit nyo, we are following the generic law. So nakasulat mo, you should prescribe generic medicine. But then their doctors, may preference sila nilalagay sa parenthesis.
Right.
Acceptable po yun, basta nakalagay yung generic. Ngayon, kuminsan naman, pagdating sa pharmacy, kung hindi available yung gamot na yun, the pharmacist also have the option to recommend.
Okay.
Yes.
Ito po ang mas mura, ito po ang ito nasa pasyente ho yun. Pero kadalasan ho yan, ang mga doktor, they would prescribe generic.
Okay.
And
Para
they
may
are
option, yeah.
guided by one, bioavailability, yung kung ano yung mas magandang action ng meron kasi mga generic, naka-6 na araw nang iniinom, hindi pa gumagaling. Samantala yung isang generic, 3 araw pa lang, maganda rin pakiramdam ng pasyente.
That's right.
And by experience sila, ito na bibigay ko. Iko-compare ko yung gagastusin ng pasyente, 2 linggo mong inumin yung gamot bago gumaling. Samantala sa 5 araw lang. So I would prefer to give that.
Yeah.
Yun po ang umiirat na kadalasan na iniisip ng mga doktor pag nagpe-prescribe po sila.
Thank you for clarifying that. Doc, lastly, how about po endorsements? Now, can a doctor promote a certain medical product or maging spokesperson ng isang produkto?
Hindi po. Pinagbabawal po ng ethical practice guidelines ng Philippine Medical Association. Together ho with the PRC yan, naglabas kami ng ethical guidelines yan. Bawal ho mag-endorse ang isang doktor ng specific product. And we have done several times, ang ethics committee has already written and warned doctors na lumalabas sa mga billboard endorsing itong calcium preparation, ito ganyan. Hindi ho dapat kami.
Doc, I'd like to clarify.
Wait,
You said kasi the word billboard. How about po kung may vlog channel siya and frequent fini-feature niya isang produkto?
Okay. Meron din hong ganon na may vlog na ito ho. Pero nasulatan natin, tatlo na ho yung doktor namin nasulatan. Ikaw ba talagang gumawa nito? And they claim AI po yan, hindi po ako yan. Hindi ko ini-endorse yan. So tatlo na ho recently ang nasulatan namin yan because they have endorsed specifically. And they even negatively said, wag kang inom nito isang gamot, eto inumin mo. So we asked them, nasulatan na ho yung mga doktor na yan. On top of the situation po kami.
It's good to know. Okay.
Maraming salamat po sa mga paglilinaw ng mga ibang issue, but hopefully we can still invite you para po sa mas malawak na pag-uusap tungkol dito. For the meantime, thank you so much, Dr. Hector Santos, Vice President of the Philippine Medical Association.
Wala po nga naman. And sana maintindihan nyo, yung nakasalang ngayon,
Yes po.
wala pa kung 2% ng 99,000 members ng Philippine Medical Association. So you could not generalize that all the doctors
That's right.
are having this practice.
Right.
Sana maintindihan ng ating publiko po yun.
Definitely, Doc. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's move on to the 4th spot. Is about the nationwide strike of Lala Move riders. Over 50,000 riders of the on-demand delivery platform will not accept bookings this Labor Day. Now, in an interview with Storycon, Lala Move Drivers Association President Ramon Paleracio demanded the company to increase their base fare. Lala Move said they are open to hold a dialogue with the riders about their concerns. But Paleracio said Lala Move has never responded to their previous invites to discuss their issues with the company.
Mag-realize na po kami
Gal na
pero wala po silang action eh. Mapag-alala nga po kami sa DICT para itatawag sila, pero hindi sila pumupunta.
Moving on to our next topic. For our top 3, the Education Department eyes aggressive return to the old academic calendar to escape heat. Here's the report.
Over 60 cases of heat-related illnesses have been recorded among students this year. The health department says most of these are heat exhaustion and hyperventilation.
Children have less experience recognizing heat stress symptoms, less awareness of their hydration status, and less of an urge to drink water. Yan po. Hence, they have more difficulty modifying their behavior and environment, which makes them more vulnerable to health-related illnesses.
Amid extreme heat, more parents in schools are now calling for adjustments in the school calendar. Currently, schools open in August and end in the month of May.
Learning together with other educators is not optimal when the kids are uncomfortable. Whether it is extreme heat or extreme cold, it is not also the optimal condition for our teachers to teach.
The Education Department says they have already sent a proposal to President Bongbong Marcos. The agency eyes to revert to the old academic calendar by next year.
The department has already submitted a letter to the Office of the President presenting other options, including a more aggressive alternative of ending school year 2024-2025 in March 2025. We are looking at 165 days of full in-person if we do it aggressively.
This means classes next school year may end in March, before the hot months of April and May. But that's 2 months earlier than scheduled. For now, some schools implement distance learning as extreme heat continues to persist. This, however, is not that effective for students, according to Senator Win Gatchalian.
There's no substitute still for face-to-face learning. So this is just an interim response because of the extreme heat. But if we can now go back to the old calendar, then most likely we can avoid the use of ADM and have more face-to-face classes.
Now let's get some more insights about the changes in the academic calendar.
We have with us via Zoom Benjo Basas, the chairperson of Teachers Dignity Coalition. Good morning and thanks for joining us again.
Yes, Ma'am Angela, good morning. Sir Angelo, good morning.
Okay, so what do you make of this po, no? Yung possibility na bumalik agad sa old academic calendar pero mababawasan ng 2 months ang school year. What's your reaction on that?
Well, siguro let's put it first in the context po, no. Itong sinasabing 2 months na mababawas, actually hindi naman 2 months, no, compared doon sa original na proposal ng DepEd, no, contained in DepEd Order number 3 series of 2024. Doon po kasi ang nakasaad po doon ay magisimula ng July 29 ng school year, matatapos ng March 16. No, so ngayon ang DepEd, ang sabi po ng DepEd kahapon, no, and I was able to clarify, no, which day on March, no, 2025 ang tinutukoy. So sabi po ni Asik Bringas ay March 31. So that would be the last day of March of 2025, no. Yun din yung last day of school year 2024-2025. So practically mga 1.5 months, no. Another thing, no, in relation to that po, no, ay wala pong tinatakda, no, yung batas, no, na minimum number of days.
Okay.
No? Pero delikado yun, no? Kaya traditionally, Ma'am Angela, yung Department of Education ay well, the DepEd is describing, no, at least 180 days, no?
Okay.
And nakukuha natin yan ever since, no? Maliban ngayong school year 2023-2024, no, na ang school days natin ay 179 lang, no? And that's the reason why we propose, no, the end of school year 2024-2025 by April 11. That would be 174, closer to 179, no? Pero sabi nga po ni Senator Gatchalian, no, mas aggressive pa nga, no, yung proposal ng DepEd kaysa sa proposal ng TDC, kasi sa DepEd proposal po ay hanggang March 31 lamang po, no? So sa tingin namin, no, at kahapon din, no, dun sa hearing ay tinanong din naman ang DepEd, no, kung meron bang mga may possible ba na mag-impose ang Saturday classes, no? Mababawasan ba yung learning competencies, no? So intact na, no, yung mga pamamaraan, ano, ng Department of Education, ano, to really, no, catch up, no, with possible lost days, no. But then again, ano, ang tinitignan namin dito, no, so parang compared, no, dito sa 179 natin ngayon, no, doon sa 165 next year, no, na yun ay purong face to face. Itong 179 po natin ngayon, no, marami po dito, especially, no, for this month of April and the coming month of May, no. I'm sorry, May na pala ngayon. No, ay mababawasan pa ito ng marami. No, sa tansya po namin, almost half of April, no, in many localities po ay nauwi, no, doon sa suspension ng face-to-face classes, no. Yan po yung scenario, no, na gusto nating iwasan. Kaya ayaw po natin talaga ng schooling, no, during the months of April and May.
Yes, Benjo, you mentioned sa Saturday, baka magka-Saturday classes, no? Kasi baka daw kailangan na magkaroon ng remote classes sa weekends, pero remote siya. What do you make of this?
Actually, no, the DepEd ruled out that possibility, no. In fact, no, it was actually asked, no, during was raised, no, during the hearing yesterday, no. Pero ang sabi ng DepEd, walang ganon. Kami nga, ano, Sir Angelo, actually doon sa 174 na yan, to comply with 180, no, okay pa rin, no, yung supposed, no, how many, no, 6 Saturdays, no, remote classes, pwede pa rin sana yun, ano, pero sabi ng DepEd, hindi na. So, better, no, so, we need not to worry, no, doon sa mga kababayan po natin, ano, na meron pong mga Saturday activities, especially doon sa kanilang religious or family or whatever po.
Alright, on that note, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Unfortunately, wala na po tayong oras. But thank you so much for joining us today, Benjo Basas, Chairperson of Teachers Dignity Coalition.
Dami kasing pag-uusapan. Yeah, but don't go away because hindi pa tayo tapos. May dalawa pa tayo. Please stay with us.
Tapos.
You're still, welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Kumain ka muna kung ano sinasabi mo.
Mamaya na ako kakain para dire-diretso na. Let's move on. Now, heating up on our top 2 is regarding the Balikatan exercises. More Chinese vessels have been spotted in the West Philippine Sea amid the drills. The Philippine Navy saw 3 Chinese ships during a division tactics training with the French Navy. This drill trains Navy personnel on proper landing at sea.
During the division tactics a while ago, we saw 2 Chinese ships and 1 militia vessel roaming around the exercise area. They are always there, sir.
The Philippine Navy says they have issued an advisory that sailing within 9 nautical miles in the Balikatan area is prohibited. The military drills will last until May 10.
The Chinese Navy crossed the astern of Harper's Ferry at a distance of 600 yards, and that is inside the gunnery box. There might be an injury. It might cause an injury or damage to their vessel if they will be hit.
Let's continue our countdown. Ano bang ating top story? Our top story for today is another incident of China's harassment in the West Philippine Sea. Their vessels endangered the lives of Filipino crew members in the West Philippine Sea by not just colliding against our ship but also blasting water cannon. Gio Robles with the report.
Papangga!
Our News 5 team had a first-hand experience of China's latest aggression against our vessels. The crew of BRP Datu Bangkao were shouting at the Chinese vessel to stop colliding against their ship. All these pleas fell on deaf ears. The Chinese vessel targeted BRP Datu Bangkao's radar and mast.
Sinisira nila yung mga kagamitan dito.
The News 5 team were inside the Philippine vessel when China blasted water cannon against them. The ship's window was almost shattered due to the water cannon's high pressure.
Kasalukuyan po binobomba ng tubig ng China Coast Guard itong sinasakyan natin na BRP Datu Bangkao ng Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources habang tayo po ay patungo ng Scarborough. So kung makikita niyo, hindi po umuulan ngayon. Mula po yan sa buga ng tubig ng water cannon itong China Coast Guard vessel.
But this is not enough for China. A few moments later, their vessel collided against the ship again. The Bifar vessel was supposed to go to Scarborough Shoal to distribute free diesel to Filipino fishermen there, but the Chinese maritime militia vessels continued following them. The Philippine Coast Guard's BRP Bagakay did not also escape China's wrath. Their vessel's railing and canopy were destroyed because of China's water cannon blast. The incident is one of the proofs of China's aggressive actions against the Philippines in our territory, according to the Philippine Coast Guard. In an interview with A Big Story, retired Associate Justice Antonio Carpio said this recent attack can be included in an arbitration case against China.
If we file an arbitration case against China, that they are conducting dangerous maneuvers. The DOJ is planning to file an arbitration case over the destruction of the marine environment, the coral reefs in Skoda Shoal and Rosal Reef. We can add this.
For News 5, Gio Robles, we are One News.
Yun ang masabi ko. Okay.
Galing ni Gary Field na hulaan yung number 1. And go!
Alright, and that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm Angelo Castro III. Happy Labor Day, everyone. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.
Second Mile.